I wish to address, firstly, an issue which is absolutely creating a great deal of distress and also disruption to local amenity and safety on our roads, and that's hooning. And there are provisions in this Youth Justice and other legislation amendment bill that do seek to address an aspect of the hooning issue. Now, over the years, hooning will arise, and it's a matter that has always required ongoing policing, ongoing community action, and the right laws to help bring about recognition of penalties for those who are driving unsafely, who are ripping up our roads and creating absolute havoc. But I have never seen as many complaints as I've seen and I've heard in the last few months. And I would say that this is now at epidemic proportions, not only in my community on the Sunshine Coast, but in many areas where we've seen an absolute explosion. Why has it exploded so much in the last few months? I think one of the aspects that people are telling me anecdotally is that because a lot of the resources that have been used to keep on top and to manage these issues have not been there with police and also with transport officers. And it's something that's not mentioned enough when we hear people talking about the need for more police. We definitely need police to be available, to be released, to provide those ongoing patrols in our streets, which is of benefit not only to keeping our streets safe in regard to traffic, but for other crimes as well. However, transport officers are also vital because they're the ones who are trained most in regard to how to ping people if they've got vehicles which aren't compliant, if they are driving dangerous vehicles. Police can do some of that, but the transport officers are particularly trained in that aspect. And I am calling on the state government to please bring back joint operations between police and transport officers more, certainly in my community, in other communities. It is not happening to the level that it needs to ensure there is a crackdown, because this needs to be addressed. I welcome aspects of the laws that are here before us, but you need to actually have enforcement. You need to stay on top of it. We all understand that young people driving cars, it's unfortunately become a bit of a rite of passage where sometimes they might take those vehicles and show off in front of other people. But the issue here is about dangerous driving, breaching the safety of our community, as well as the peace and amenity of our communities. So bring back transport officers and joint operations, in addition to laws, to ensure that the safety issue. It really has become quite a serious matter, and I just think it's not being addressed currently with the lack of these joint operations, cracking down on these issues to make sure that people get the message that you've got a better chance of getting caught. Now, we understand people use electronics these days to warn their mates, and often by the time police arrive, they've gone. But I'm talking about joint operations and to address the behaviour but also the non-compliant vehicles which are unsafe. In regard to youth justice and the issues that have been talked about, I support the state opposition's amendment to seek to amend the Bail Act to remove child offenders from the exclusion relating to the offence of breach conditions of bail. I've heard Labor members on the other side yawning. People have died because of youth offenders have taken cars out while they've been on bail. That's while those young people have been on bail. It's not a yawning matter. It's a disgrace to hear a member opposite, a Labor member, yawning when it's seen people killed because of these youth offenders. I think that there are Labor members who just don't get it. Just don't get it. This is a serious issue. The provisions before the House don't go far enough. We will support them insofar as that they're better than nothing, but they're not enough. And it's a serious issue, not a laughing or a yawning matter. Disgraceful from that member. There are people who have lost their lives because of youth offenders. Youth offenders have gone out, stolen vehicles and ripped along roads and smashed into innocent people.
Order, members.
Disgrace from that member opposite. He should hang his head in shame, particularly given the community he comes from. So we want to see a serious
order, members.
In regard to these offences, where young people currently, the serious offenders, who are going out and committing more offences while on bail still hasn't been adequately addressed. So this is an issue that's not going to go away. We do want to see stronger measures. I do support the amendment that the opposition have put before the House.
Member, before you resume your seat, could I ask that you move that the debate be adjourned?
I move that debate be now adjourned.
The question